After hours of flights and airport layovers, I finally arrive outside the apartment building where I'll be staying for the week. It's well past midnight as I drag my suitcase to the entrance. The apartment has been renovated, and the smell of fresh paint lingers. The bedroom feels like an icebox, the air so cold and frigid I can see my own breath hanging in the air. As I pull back the sheets, I'm hit with a wave of revulsion. There are cheesy poof crumbs scattered everywhere, like someone's been using the bed as their personal buffet table. What a shithole, I think to myself, as I brush the crumbs out onto the floor. Work has really cheaped out on me this time. I quickly pull on a sweatshirt and head to bed. It takes me a while to get comfortable, but eventually I start to nod off. Then someone whispers right into my ear, "Loser." My eyes pop open. I glance around the room, mystified. Did I just dream that? I hesitate for a moment, before slowly resting my head back down on the pillow. "Wanker." My heart hammers in my chest as I bolt out of bed. The voice sounded so clear, as if it were right next to me. I stand in the middle of the room, scratching my belly absent-mindedly as I try to make sense of what just happened. Could it be coming from one of the other apartments? These renovations are notorious for cutting corners. I tap lightly on the wall, confirming my suspicion. It's just hollow plasterboard. I must have heard someone in the apartment next to mine having a tantrum. I get back into bed, satisfied with my take on the situation. I turn onto my side, and that's when something hurtles across the room and crashes against the wall. I dive out of bed and scan the area. My phone lies on the far side of the room, the screen lit up. I pick it up and gasp in disbelief. There's an image of a gimp wearing a strap-on, with my smiling face emblazoned on the tip. I shake my head in disbelief. What in the world is going on? I'm too freaked out to stay in the bedroom. Instead, I fall asleep on the couch. It feels like I've barely slept when my morning alarm goes off. I'm tired and stiff as I slowly unfurl and groan at the thought of the workday ahead of me. I sit at the kitchen diner and sip at a coffee, the creepy incidents from last night lingering in the back of my mind. I leave the apartment with a backward glance, hoping that the night's events were an isolated occurrence. Getting through work is a real struggle. I'm so tired I can't even string two thoughts together. That evening, I enter the apartment in a daze. I grab a drink, and when I close the fridge door, I come face to face with a bright post-it note. I peel it off, reading the words, "The following achievement has been unlocked. Beady-eyed wanker." I scoff at the note, crumpling it up and tossing it into the bin. The cleaners must have missed this from a previous guest, I tell myself. I head to the bathroom, my eyes widening in disbelief, as another post-it note rests on the toilet with the message, "Side quest, control your knob and stop pissing all over the floor." And another on the mirror, "Error, your dismal life looks like it was drawn with my left foot." They're all written in the same snarky gamer tone. Have I been so exhausted that I fail to see these? Or is someone sneaking around having a laugh at my expense? Anger surges through me at the lack of security. I march over to the front door and latch it shut. It's now late, and I'm in the kitchen finishing off some work. It's a wet evening, and the rain is drumming against the window, when a soft pounding reaches my ears from the direction of the bedroom. I look up from the laptop and stare at the open doorway. An eerie moan drifts from the shadows. I push back my chair and cautiously walk towards the sound. My heart leaps as I spot a dark figure perched on the edge of my bed, its arm vigorously pumping away. With a sharp inhale, I lunge for the lights, and as soon as I do, it vanishes. My eyes remain fixed on the spot, completely thrown by what I've just seen. I could have sworn someone was bashing one out on my bed. I flick the light switch on and off, half expecting the figure to reappear, but all I hear is the incessant whirring of the ceiling fan above. No, it must have been the fan, I tell myself. A dodgy fan and the shadows playing tricks on my mind. I suppose I know I'm kidding myself, but my brain is not willing to fully process the alternative. Besides, it's late and I'm tired. I'm not thinking straight. It's absolutely freezing, and I crank up the thermostat as high as it will go. The previous night has ruined me, and I desperately need to sleep. I wrap up the task I was working on and call it a night. For obvious reasons, I'm a little spooked, so I keep the bedroom light on. Luckily, the apartment is now toasty warm, and I strip down to my underwear before hopping into bed. As soon as my head hits the pillow, I'm fast asleep. I start to stir as a faint sound seeps into my dreams. I blink my eyes open and turn over to find myself engulfed in pitch blackness. The temperature has plummeted and a shiver races down my spine. I tell myself that there must have been a power outage, because the thought that someone has turned off the light and is lurking in the room with me freaks me the hell out. There's a rustle nearby, and I freeze, holding my breath. Who's there? My voice is thin. Dickhead. My head turns in the direction of the voice, panic snatching my breath away. I can hardly breathe. I swing my legs out of bed and dart towards the door, but stop dead in my tracks as the TV switches itself on, the screen full of static. A gravelly voice cuts through the darkness. You fucking cockweasel. I'm at the light switch in a heartbeat, bracing myself to come face to face with the intruder. But the room is empty. I stand there, in my underpants, with my fists raised, ready to defend myself, slack-jawed and terrified. I'm not one to believe in the paranormal, but at this point, it's the only explanation. All I know for sure is that I'm not staying here a minute longer. I bound around the room gathering up my belongings, and that's when I hear a ping from my laptop. It's logged into a gaming website with a video of me in the middle of the screen. I look pale, wide-eyed and absolutely ridiculous, like some feral creature in a wildlife documentary. Comments are rolling in thick and fast. Is this supposed to be performance art? Reads one. Looks like he's soiled his budgie smugglers, says another. It takes me a second to catch on, but when I do, horror washes over me as I realise that I'm being live streamed. People are scrambling to take a jab at me, the screen filled with amusement and ridicule at my expense. I slam the laptop shut. Broadcasting myself half naked to a bunch of strangers is beyond mortifying. I would rather pay for a hotel out of my own pocket than spend another night here. I get dressed and wait anxiously in the kitchen for the taxi. As soon as I get the call that it's arrived, I'm out of there. Just as I'm shutting the front door, I look back at the bedroom and freeze in terror as I see a figure lurking in the doorway. There's a controller cord wound tightly around his neck. His middle fingers are raised at me as he clearly mouths, "Fuck you." The hostility and anger are beyond measure. I close the door and never look back.